Yo, what's good guys, and welcome back. Today's video is going to be a pretty cool one. I've been waiting on this video, and what we're going to be doing today is redoing a Japanese front bumper. Here we go guys, so I ended up finding a Japanese front bumper off of Facebook Marketplace. I've been searching around for one for a while and I ended up finding this one. This one's in decent shape. It's seen its better days. We got chips and nicks everywhere in the paint. And I think this front end got actually hit a bit because like the plastic's not straight right there and it's kind of pushed back. And if we look back here, like the brackets right here are cracked off and kind of bent. We're gonna go ahead today and go and sand all of this, get it all nice and smooth, probably fill in all these like cuts and stuff right here and try to pull out like the warps in it and try to make it look pretty. Yeah, I really like how these front ends look with like the side blinker right there instead of like the big old bulging out US one. Hopefully I can get at least it primered today because I want to end up painting this like black and having the front bumper and the back bumper like black and the car resprayed red, so it's just like a two-tone car. But yeah, this thing is gonna look sick once we actually get it all done and actually fit it up on the car. So the first thing I kind of want to try to do is get this warp out right here. It's kind of pushed down, or it's kind of pushed back a little bit right there, so I'm gonna try to pull this I'm gonna try to pull this warp out a little bit, trying to use like a heat gun method. And then once I get that, I'm gonna try to get these heated up as well and try to straighten these out. As you can see, they're kind of like bent up right here and it's not really straight right there. I was able to heat it up enough to get this because it was pushed in and this was pushed in. I know it doesn't look like it right now because the paint's all messed up, but now it's pretty straight right here. It's not all pushed up right here. There's a little bit of a kick still, but it's pretty straight like in the front, so it doesn't dip in. So I'll probably go up and sand this part after. And I ended up doing this as well because it was kind of pushed down. I ended up heating it a little bit too much. You can't really see, like I slipped like the rubber right here. So I'll probably sand that as well and just end up filling the gashes. But now we just need to go ahead and fix like all this. Let's see, gonna fix these because a couple are cracked. Kind of cracked right here where this light housing is. So I'm gonna go in the back and push this down and try to re-weld this back part right here. As you can see back here, it's kind of where this housing and that grill is. It's kind of cracked off right here. It's cracked right there. So I'm gonna try to get this and weld it right there and just try to fix these fins back here because we're gonna end up, because there should be a mounting bracket right here, but it kind of cracked off, I guess. So you can see that one. And that part, this part's actually ripped. I might be able to probably push this over, try to put some rubber or plastic welder across that. And then for this bottom part, I might just get, I got a piece of Kydex that I'll probably just cut out a bracket and just rivet it on right there just so it's another bracket. But yeah, we're gonna try to fix these fins out. And I have this new this plastic welding kit from Harbor Freight. It wasn't that expensive. So technically like those cracks, I can go ahead and get these this plastic filler rod right there, and then you just heat it up. Basically weld it, like just flatten it out. But we're gonna go ahead and do that and try to get this all back welded together so it kind of fixes the grill a little bit, and then we'll probably heat these and individually try to bend these out. Up drilling some holes right here just so I could put some zip ties and hold this together while I actually welded this, and it helped keep this force closed while this these welds actually cool down to close. But I might just end up cutting these clips off right here and actually maybe just leaving that because you can't really tell behind the front of this because I'm gonna probably paint it black. But yeah, I'll probably cut those off, leave that, and this will probably help with the bracket. Probably gonna go ahead and make the bracket next and then focus on filling all the chips and getting everything sanded in the front. since this tab was broken down here, like this tab right here, I ended up making 3 new tabs right here just so I can mount this more securely. Ended up making this out of Kydex, and then I bolted it right there. So I have these holes drilled out right here, 1, 2, and 3. So now we're gonna have mounting points for this right there and for the top right there. Since I don't actually have the JDM brackets for this because it's not running this, it can't run the USDM crash bar, I'm gonna end up making my own bash bar for this later on. So we got this down. I think that's all good. So now we're gonna probably work on sanding it back, the front of it, sanding the front of it, and filling in all the holes. Alright, so I went ahead and I filled in a couple of scratches and stuff and grooves. I ended up using like some Bondo bumper like filler. It's kind of like plasticky, so it actually flexes with it, so it doesn't end up like cracking. I didn't really do that good of a job because this thing does have so many chips in it. So I did as best as I can, like the big ones and whatnot, but now I'm just gonna go ahead and just primer it with like a primer it's a fill and a sand. So I'll probably spray it all down and then probably go over it again, probably a couple times. Let's get it. Alright guys, so today's the day we're gonna actually paint this with a base coat and a clear coat. So I finally went ahead and I sanded down all the primer because it was like filler primer, so it was rough. So I went over it with like 3 different sandpapers since I dry sanded it. But yeah, now we got set up and we're gonna go ahead and do the base coat. I'm just gonna be using like this Duplicolor Universal Gloss Black for the base coat and just a clear coat of the same company. So next we're gonna let the bumper dry for a day or 2 just so it cures really good, and we can go ahead and look at like any imperfections, but I'll probably end up leaving it. But next we're gonna go ahead and actually clear up these side markers, blinkers right here. They got a little bit of oxidation on them, and there's like a scuff on one of them, so I'm gonna go ahead and wet sand them. And then I got some clear coat that's gonna help seal and protect against like the UV rays so it won't yellow or whatnot, and keep this oxidation to a minimum. But yeah, let's get to it. Alright, so we let the covers dry off. They kind of look foggy and like hazy now, but that's with it all like sanded down. I used a 1000 grit first and then a 1500 grit second to get it nice and smooth. We're gonna be using this clear coat. It's like a gloss, but it has like it seals and protects, so it should be pretty good. And if it ever gets foggy again, we can just do the same process. It wasn't too bad. It probably took like 2 minutes to do, but let's get this spray going. Alright guys, so we let these dry overnight and they came out really good. They honestly look pretty much brand new. The gloss and the shine to it. The other one has like a little groove in it, which you can still tell, but it's still sealed and nice and shiny. So we're gonna get this all finally back together and look at the overall bumper. Alright guys, we got it all back together and this is how the finished product looks. The bumper's not that great of condition, so I'm not worried about how the paint actually came out. So I ended up going with some trunk and bumper Rust-Oleum paint, which I ended up getting it to all look the same exact texture. There's still a bunch of like chips and cuts in here, but for what the bumper was worth, it came out pretty good. Turn signals came out really good, nice and glossy. They look pretty good, brand new. I don't have the actual chrome insert right here because it was kind of dented up in some spots. So I'm gonna go ahead and find either another piece of rubber to get in there, and I think I'm gonna go with a red pinstripe that goes from there, so it'll kind of match the car a little bit, but just to give it a little pop instead of just another chrome piece that might fade. But yeah, overall it looks pretty good. It took a while to do. I'm not proud of exactly how it came out, but it's gonna do justice to the car once I actually get it mounted there. But yeah, this is the overall product. Alright guys, so that's gonna be it for today's video. I hope you guys had some fun watching me restore this JDM bumper. So these next couple videos, or this next video, hopefully I will be able to throw the bumper on. I'm gonna go ahead and have to build like a bash bar for it, because since it's not a USA one, I'm gonna have to take off the crash bar and do my own mounts and stuff. So why not build a bash bar for the next video? So stay tuned for these next videos. If you guys want to give me a thumb wrestle, just you know how to do it down there below. Yeah, so subscribe if you guys want to continue to see this build, and thank you guys again, and we'll see you in the next one.